Welcome back to Warriors Nation News, your go-to source for everything Golden State Warriors and NBA news. Today, we dive into a recent heated exchange between Draymond Green and Hall of Famer Charles Barkley regarding the NBA's All-Star Game format. Draymond, known for his outspoken personality both on and off the court, didn't hold back when he criticized the new All-Star Game format during a recent TNT broadcast. His comments ignited a fiery debate, with Barkley quickly jumping to defend the league's efforts. As always, we'll break down what was said, what it means for the future of the NBA, and how this fits into the larger picture for the Warriors. The All-Star Game controversy, Draymond's critique. The NBA, seeking to revitalize the All-Star Weekend experience, unveiled a fresh format for this year's event. A mini-tournament format aimed at drawing back the excitement that once made the All-Star Game a can't-miss spectacle. The new structure included an exhibition of rising stars and a change from the traditional East versus West format, instead bringing together players from different teams in a more fluid, dynamic style. However, not everyone was thrilled about the changes, and Draymond Green, in his characteristic bold fashion, made his feelings known. Green, who himself has a decorated All-Star resume, took to the TNT broadcast to express his displeasure, calling the new format absurd. Draymond's main issue was with how the All-Star Game, which had historically been an opportunity for the league's biggest stars to showcase their talents, had been reduced to a mini-tournament where players only get brief moments to shine. He explained that players work tirelessly all season to earn their All-Star status, only to be limited to just a few minutes of gameplay. You work all year to be an All-Star, and you get to play up to 40, and then you're done. This is so unfair to Victor Wembanyama, who just took this game really seriously. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who just took this game really seriously, Green said. He also expressed concern for players like LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and Carmelo Anthony, who built their All-Star legacies through extended high-performance moments. In Green's view, the current setup no longer allows for these kinds of historical performances. His critique was more than just a gripe about the rules. It was a call for the return of what he viewed as true basketball competition in the All-Star Game. For Green, the event had turned into a spectacle, a sideshow more about novelty than basketball. In his words, the league's attempt to inject excitement by including the rising stars and experimenting with new formats had ultimately diluted the essence of the All-Star experience. "This ain't basketball," Green declared flatly, rating the game a 0 out of 10. His frustration was palpable, and given his history as a vocal advocate for the game of basketball and player welfare, his critique struck a chord among fans. Barkley's response: a generational divide. Enter Charles Barkley, who, as a fellow TNT analyst, wasn't about to let Draymond's comments slide without offering a counterpoint. Barkley, a Hall of Famer and one of the most vocal figures in basketball commentary, had strong words for Green's perspective. In typical Barkley fashion, he didn't mince words. "I'm going to disagree with Draymond a lot," Barkley said, before delivering a biting analogy. "I use the analogy like when your kids mess up the house, you make them clean it up and they're complaining. They messed the game up. That's why we're trying to kamikaze stuff out here right now." Barkley argued that the younger generation of players, including Draymond, was partly to blame for the current state of the All-Star Game and the league's need to change things up to maintain fan interest. Barkley was quick to remind Green that it was his generation that messed the game up by prioritizing entertainment over traditional basketball fundamentals. He referred to the current generation of players as being responsible for a shift in focus toward personal branding and flashy moments, rather than a pure appreciation of the game itself. "So don't act like he's mad that they're trying to use rookies. We're doing every type of trick to make this weekend exciting," Barkley added. For Barkley, the changes weren't a sign of disrespect or a failure of the All-Star Game. Instead, they were an attempt to fix the event by making it more engaging for a younger audience. It was a clear message that the NBA, like every other major sports league, must adapt to the times. Fans, particularly younger ones, demand a more entertaining, engaging experience, even if it means departing from tradition. Barkley's comments highlighted a generational divide in the way that players and fans perceive the All-Star Game. While veterans like Barkley might prefer the old-school format that prioritized player skill and competition, Younger stars like Draymond may see the modern-day All-Star game as a watered-down version of the event they once cherished. The state of the All-Star game, a broader issue. The comments from both Draymond and Barkley reflect a larger issue in the NBA, an ongoing struggle to balance tradition with innovation. The All-Star Game has long been a polarizing event, with fans either loving it for its star-studded atmosphere or critiquing it for lackluster competition and entertainment value. As the NBA continues to evolve and grow its global audience, especially among younger viewers, the league has found itself in the difficult position of trying to keep All-Star Weekend relevant. At its peak, the All-Star Game was a celebration of basketball talent, with fierce competition and unforgettable performances. The change to a mini-tournament style was part of the NBA's efforts to revive the event's excitement. The idea was to break from the predictable East versus West format, encouraging dynamic, unpredictable matchups and providing younger players with a stage to prove their worth. However, this shift has sparked resistance from those who remember the game as a true showcase of basketball excellence, where legends made their mark. Draymond's critique came from a place of frustration, but also a deep love for the game of basketball. His comments reflect the disappointment of watching a game that he believes could be so much more. Meanwhile, Barkley's defense of the format underscores a recognition that the All-Star Game must be reimagined for a new era of fans and players. The Warriors' perspective, Draymond's influence and legacy. As fans of the Golden State Warriors, we can't help but consider how this debate affects Draymond Green, a cornerstone of the Warriors dynasty. Green has been the heart and soul of the team, a four-time NBA champion, and a player whose leadership and intensity define much of what the Warriors stand for. His influence on the game is undeniable, but his outspoken views on the All-Star Game reveal his passion for basketball in its truest form. Draymond's frustration with the All-Star Game format is rooted in his commitment to basketball as a serious, competitive sport. His leadership on the Warriors has always been about elevating the play on the court, and his critique of the All-Star Game reflects that same mindset. But as Barkley rightly pointed out, times are changing. The NBA is a league that thrives on spectacle, entertainment, and global appeal, and the All-Star Game is no exception. While Green may not agree with every change, his commitment to the game and the Warriors remains unwavering. It's a reminder that, even in an era where the game evolves, the values of hard work and competition that Draymond Green embodies are still what drive the success of the Warriors. Looking ahead, it will be interesting to see how the All-Star Game continues to evolve, and whether the league can strike the right balance between tradition and innovation. As Warriors fans, we know that Draymond's influence, on and off the court, will continue to shape the future of the NBA, just as it has for the Warriors championship teams. Embracing change while honoring the past. In the end, the debate between Draymond Green and Charles Barkley over the All-Star Game format is emblematic of a larger conversation taking place within the NBA. It's a discussion about how the game should evolve to meet the needs and expectations of a new generation of fans, while still honoring the rich traditions that have made the NBA the global phenomenon it is today. For Warriors fans, Draymond's comments are a reminder of the deep love and respect he has for the game. While he may disagree with some of the league's changes, there's no doubt that his passion for basketball remains as strong as ever. As the NBA continues to innovate and adapt, we can trust that the Warriors, guided by Draymond's leadership, will remain at the forefront of that evolution, always striving for greatness both on and off the court. Stay tuned, Warriors Nation. This conversation is far from over. And as always, go Dubs!